Bro, what do you mean? We've seen the largest liquidations ever, but that makes sense because obviously we're seeing the highest prices of crypto ever.
I'm not trying to say the top is here, but the top is near. That's what I'm going to say.
We'll probably chop sideways. I think we'll have some activity in late November, December, something around there.
So this is one of the worst Q4s I've ever seen in crypto.
The content presented in this podcast.
So this week, we will discuss the biggest crypto liquidity event in history, totaling over $20 billion. We'll also talk about what strategies will be best for November. And as always, we'll be discussing what we're looking to get into and what our theses are. And you're listening to Crypto Flip, where real money meets real talk, where three investors managing a combined 7-figure portfolio built over 2 decades in crypto. We've ridden the bull runs, survived the crashes, and learned expensive lessons so you don't have to. Each episode, we break down our latest moves, dissect what's actually driving the market, and cut through the noise of everything from under-the-radar altcoins to meme coins that somehow make money. We're not here to bring the hype, just honest insights from traders and investors with actual skin in the game. This is Crypto Flip. If you're a regular here, you know what we have to do. We have to go to our friends, and if you're new here, welcome. But before we get into all of the juicy subjects and all of the juicy topics, we have to do crypto confessions. So let's get into it. I've been paying an OnlyFans girl for a month now to call me Satoshi while she calls herself Pepe. It's getting very detailed and I think I'm addicted and want to stop. I've spent about 2k USD on her and she won't stop DMing me saying, Pepe wants Satoshi right now. It's a problem. I see no solution for, and I need help. What do you make of that, Deji?
What the fuck? Like, that is the only language I can use right now. Because, bro, she's using it as a cash cow, bro. She's milking you, essentially. And you wonder why she keeps DMing you when you're trying to charge your credit card again. This is insane. This is insane. But Silver's had to this. It doesn't seem like you've blown too much. It's only $2,000 US, so you can stop. Now's the time to stop. Your state of affairs, your level of self-esteem is not where it needs to be. For you need to associate yourself with someone that's done greatness, that's done something great, for you to feel like you're worth something, like. And then you have someone online validating you, and you have to pay for that. Just think about it. Just think about it.
Where do I start? Like, you're a depraved individual. You need help. You said you don't know if you can get help for it, but you need to find somebody that can help you. That somebody is not me. I don't think it's Deji either, but you need to find someone somewhere to help you, because this is how it starts, and then it will go more and more and more. And by the time you know it, your bank account is empty. You've got more money than sense at this point. So you need to really, well, this is the thing. You've acknowledged that you have a problem, which is good. Most people don't get that to that stage. So you need to get to the next stage, cut yourself off, start fresh, and let's just forget this whole thing happened. I'd rather you lost your money on a meme coin than do this foolishness. But let's go on to the next one. My dad doesn't speak much English, so he gave me access to all his credit cards to help him out. I started trading meme coins with my own money, but lost everything. After that, I began doing balance transfers from his credit cards and buying Solana to trade with. I ended up moving $60,000 across 3 credit cards and lost it all in the same week. Now I'm down to my last $300. I was hoping to pay everything back before he noticed and make a bit of profit. What do you make of that?
The signs were there. There was beware signs there at the beginning, because he said he tried with his own money, he lost it all. Now he went on, the greed took over, and then he went to his dad's money. And funny enough, it's never his dad's money, fam. It's his dad's borrowed money. Because credit cards are borrowed money. You're basically borrowing against, exactly, it's risky credit. I mean, you have to pay back the credit with interest. So for you to, not 1K, not 2K, not 10K, not 15K, not 20K, that's not bad enough. You moved $60,000. Yeah. You know what we would have to call, basically, you have a belt to ass coming your way. And I hope you can survive it because, boy, your dad will not be doing much talking when they find out what you've done because $300, it's a uphill climb to make it back to $60,000. It's just hard because there's no room for mistakes. You know what I mean? There's zero room for mistakes. So, boy, I would hate to be you.
He's cooked. He's absolutely cooked. The reason why is because not only did you lose your own money, which Deji rightly pointed out, you've more or less lost all of your dad's money. And with $300, what can you really do with $300? Now, it's crypto. Obviously, you can find a runner. You would have to get 200x to break even. That ain't easy. So, and that's with no mistakes as well. And you've made a lot of mistakes and it's documented. So, I think your dad should press charges against you. I think that's the only way you're going to learn because for you to be...
Oh my God. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for you to say that.
You deserve everything that comes to you, man. But with that being said, welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. I am your host, Harris King, and I am joined once again with my co-host, Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening on Spotify or any audio platform, don't forget to leave a review because it really does help us create new episodes. So last week there was an insane liquidation that came as a surprise to most people because everybody was riding on the wave. Everyone was happy that the markets were pumping, BNB, and ecosystem was really doing well. And then Trump decided to introduce or reintroduce tariffs, and the whole market got spooked. So much so that we had record liquidations of over 20 billion with a B, like basketball, dollars, which is an insane amount. And just to put that into perspective, the COVID crash was 1.2 billion. The FTX crash was 1.6 billion. And this crash was $19.3 billion. So we're dealing with a lot more money. And yeah, it was crazy. But even though the amount was a lot bigger, more or less 20x what these other crashes were, during the COVID crash, I was a lot more spooked. During the FTX crash, I was a lot more concerned. But in this crash, it was bad, don't get me wrong, in terms of dollar amounts. But I'm maybe because I've already got the battle scars and I've seen it, been there, done it. But I didn't really get the same level of fear. Well, what was your first impression when you sort of heard the news or you saw the charts?
To be honest, bro, when this crash was happening, I just closed my laptop and there's nothing else to do. Other than wait for it to bottom out and try and catch some spot trades, only spot. And to put this in context so that obviously our listeners and viewers can understand what we mean by $20 billion liquidation in a single event, we're mostly talking about leverage traders. These people were the ones that were liquidated and they had their trade ended prematurely, whether they think there's tomorrow move downside or upside. So that's just to give people context. So the people that were mostly affected by this were leverage traders, people that trade with high leverage, whether it's even medium leverage, you probably got wrecked and liquidated. And to be honest, like, I wasn't surprised. That's why, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't. And then you said as well, Iris, that you weren't too surprised about what happened because, one, compared to the previous two, massive liquidation, like the COVID situation, I mean, I would even say the COVID situation had more scare because there was real impact that, are we ever going to go back to normal again? Are we ever going to be like, are we ever going to regain normality again as a human? But then obviously eventually things picked up and then we're back to, we went on to FTX and now we're back to this recent trade wars. And the main reason for this trigger, this liquidation is, like I said, President Trump decided to kind of reignite the trade wars with China again, threatening to raise tariffs if they couldn't commit to something with them. And that is something that, I think was always a possibility. It's not a black swan event, but the reaction definitely seemed like a black swan event because $20 billion in liquidation is insane. That was what, almost 10x compared to the previous highest liquidation event. So it's a situation where, like, you know what I mean, if you were in spot and you held on to the liquidation event, you're good. If you panic sold, there's still hope. Maybe you can still buy back. But if you held diamond hand, you're in a good situation because I still think we have another leg up. Personally, I don't think this downside side is done. I feel like we threatened that 100K level. There's still CME gap at basically right now. We've pumped back to 110. So actually, we had to pump back to we went as high recently to 125. We went basically we got liquidated, or not we. I mean, most leverage traders got liquidated back down to 104. That was the lowest it dropped, and now it's back up to 111. But I see a lot of winter mood, a lot of balance activity, basically pumping money into Bitcoin, pumping money into crypto to liquidate shorts. So personally, right now, I wouldn't even touch leverage of a pool right now. I think the best move to do now is just buy spot at the levels that you think you should be buying. If you look at the charts, right, and I think some charts have adjusted now, but if you go on trading, you look at like the charts like Shui, if you look at some other coins, like they dropped significantly. I saw Sui go down lower to 52 cents. Then obviously immediately picked back up. But just shows you kind of fear there was that mid-October when this happened just a week ago. But I don't think the top is, I think the top's closer to what we've reached so far than not. So I think.
So you think it could be closer to, say, 100 for the live or something?
I mean, right now, the previous all-time high is 125. If we get a pump now, let's say we get a pump for December, and we pump all the way to, let's say, 140, 145 or something, and we pull back, people will be like, no, just a pullback. But that could be the next top. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying the next leg up could trigger the next local top for the cycle. That's what I'm trying to say. Not say the top is up. I'm not trying to say the top is here, but the top is near. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, there's a lot of things you have to pay attention to. I will pay attention to around that 109 to 110 area. We just got rejected at like 111K. Let's see what happens. If you can't reclaim 111K, I think we'll probably go much lower, like sub 100. I think I've been saying it. Whenever we come off, rate cuts. Yes, we had that pump to a new all-time high, but look what happened. You know what I mean? So, just right now, I think the best place to be is just to trade in spot only and just hold for that end of year pump. That's kind of like my plan. So yeah, what do you think?
So I think it's really important to put this story into perspective, because it's all good and well looking at numbers and saying 20 billion got liquidated, but what does that really mean? Let me give you an example. There was a suicide by a crypto trader called Kostya Kuda, and he is a Ukrainian trader and the founder of Cryptology. And he committed suicide with his own pistol. And he was allegedly in charge of a $65 million fund. So that's the scale that we're dealing with. People's future, people's investments, but it's deeper than just investments. It's this is people's lives we're talking about. But all of that to say that obviously, even if you did lose it all, that's not something that you should allow to cross your mind, because that's something you definitely can't come back from. But what do I think? I think that we are in very interesting times. I don't think this is a top. I think we still have some room left to grow, but I don't think we're going to be going to the heights of some of the like ultra bulls of, say, 250 or something like that. I don't think we're going to hit that this cycle, or this cycle, because I still believe in the full year cycle. We'll probably chop sideways. I think we'll have some activity in maybe late November, December, something around there.
Historically, November is a great month for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin do well, usually everything kind of picks up. So I think we do get that altcoin season in December, January, February. We'll extend February, and then I think March we'll probably have a pullback, probably another dead cat bounce, and then it will probably correct and their market start. So I think right now, so far in October, we're minus 2.6% return so far in this month. I think that probably goes up to probably double digits, 12% maybe, or even say that's a 10%. So that's another 10% from here.
Minus.
Brings us right down to that sub 100. Yeah, we're minus. Yeah, minus October so far. We're -2. Basically, we're -3%. Put it that way.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can see that going up to 12%, 13% easily. I mean, because I think historically, November is a good month for crypto. Well, so far October has been sideways, and December usually we get some sort of activity, but probably not as strong as you would like. So, but I think if we just go sideways for now, I think like logic dictates that November will probably have a strong bounce, and then I think that's when traders can really reap the benefit. You could probably come back to leverage trade again. But right now, I wouldn't even touch that. I wanted just to spot.
This is one of the worst Q4s I've ever seen in crypto. Everybody knows about October. October is meant to be the month where, you see some crazy gains, bro. And I don't know, man. I think October's been so bad. It's made me think, like, raw. Is this it? Like, is this the end of the cycle? Is the cycle gonna end early? Because, bro, what do you mean? We've seen the largest liquidations ever, but that makes sense because obviously we're seeing the highest prices of crypto ever. We're seeing the highest Bitcoin price ever. Ethereum's dancing around all-time highs. So, if Bitcoin drops, we expect a big wave, right? Right now we're about 14% away from something like another 20 billion in liquidations from people that are betting that the market's going to go short. So if Bitcoin jumped 15% from here, it's game over for like another rough 20 billion. Generally, bro, I don't know, man. I feel like I've lost confidence that this is the upward trajectory that we thought it was, because this isn't the first one. This is the second one this month. I don't know who's manipulating the market, who's pressing the button, but at the end of the day, one flash crash, bro. One flash crash went down to, what was it, 101, 102, something like that. And then we recovered to 105, 106, 108. And then it went up to like 112 last week. And then we just had another mad set of liquidations. I don't know. Right now, the market's in a place where, first of all, don't get comfortable. The market's not your friend. Like, it's trying to suck as much money as you have, as much money from you as possible. But I think I'm just trying to catch the waves, man. I'm long when I see things that are looking long, and I'm short when I see things are looking short. And right now, I'm like 50-50, and it's really coin dependent. I see loads of people online talking about, it's not loads of people, but like some people I actually respect, saying this is it. This is the end of the bull market.
Whenever people say it's the end, that's what you should be buying for. You know what I mean? So let's be real. Like, everyone's got an opinion. The same people are probably backflipping for different signals last week. But I mean, the liquidation was a bit scary. But like I said, we felt more fear, I think, Iris and I, during the Kobe liquidations, because not only because the market was going sideways, but because we thought humans would never go back to normal again, because the world was at the end, fast, like people are dying from. Exactly. It would look worse than World War III, fam. And then obviously FTX happened. But this one is just, like I said, prices are higher in it. Bitcoin is 125 recently. And so the liquidations is being higher. It's not really like, end of days, end of times. But do I think we're closer to the end of the cycle than the beginning? Hell yeah. We've been saying it for several months now. If you still think you have another year of bull market left, that's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. OCG can start like this and end within 30, 40 days. Altcoins don't last years anyway. It doesn't last more than 3 months. You know what I mean? So I think people are still stuck on, we have another massive leg up because altcoins hasn't really happened yet. But I think altcoins can happen within 40, 45 days top. And then people are just left folded crypto dust. So yeah, time now is obviously.
I think it's going into only the coins that you were right into, COVID barrages.
We have that end of Q4 rally fund. So if we don't, which I think we will, I don't think it's the end.
I think we just need to be smart and follow the trends. It's a difficult market to trade. I'm not an expert trader, but I think when you identify and find the niches that are doing well, it can be hard to know, whether that basket of cryptos are actually going to pump for a few months, a few weeks, 1 week. It's hard to know. So I think when you see something moving, you really have to move with speed. I think this market respects speed because that BNB narrative is kind of dead in a sense. It had multiple variations.
Thanks to this flash crash.
Yes, true. But that's what I'm saying. It probably would still be going on if it wasn't there, but it obviously wouldn't be as strong. But there's a number of different reasons why things aren't as steady as previous reasons. We've talked about it before as far as meme coins, sucking liquidity, so many coins, no retail, yada, yada, yada. So it's the same money that's chasing different narratives, which is why we're just going round and round in a merry-go-round. And because of that, can you still make money? 100%. You just have to be smarter about it. So when you see these trends pop up and you think, oh, what's that? Let me do some more research. Let me see. Oh, okay, cool. This guy's made a few money. By the time you know it, it's like the thing has almost died. And don't get me wrong, I'm not just saying that from a high horse. I'm saying that because I've done the very thing that I'm talking about. So it's a warning to you if you're thinking the same. So I think you kind of have to act first, research later, as counterintuitive as that sounds. But I don't mean that as far as like meme coins and just jumping into random nonsense. I mean that as far as, when new metas come about, being first is going to yield a lot of fruit. After that, then because you have the leaders and then you have, the betas and all the rest of it. When you get to the betas and beyond, then it's obviously a lot harder to pick what's actually going to fly. So yeah, that's kind of my perspective.
So you're saying the market's not done and we have room to fly.
I think we haven't had the blow off top moment yet. So I think we still got a lot of room left to go.
When you see a lot of room, sorry, Rick, to add like that. When you see a lot of room, can you give it to me, like, if you can, in percentage? Like, when you see another leg, you see another 50% from here, another 40%?
We've only got 20% left of the move to go. And that probably looks like the next 6 to 8 months, maybe less, probably closer to 6 months. And then boom, you know what happens after that.
What you're saying is 100x leverage for 25%, yeah?
That's definitely not what I'm saying.
When there's been a green September, there's never been a red October. Whenever there's a red September, only 2 times in history, in Bitcoin's 12-year history, that we've seen a red October after a red September, sorry. So right now, if we're following any pre-existing trend, these liquidations that we're facing this month is actually just washing out the traders that are definitely long or definitely short, and the market's going to do what it does. Because right now we're only on about minus 2.66%, versus where we started the month of October from, which is well small. So there's still room for this month to end really well. And then going into, Comvember, because Comvember's looking mad. But yeah, I think, you just have to stay in the market. I think if you're going to exit the market now, then you're going to be stuffed and it's not going to be worth it. It's going to be long for you because you're going to see crazy stuff happen, whether it's long or short, and you're going to be sidelined. And I think right now is the time to just pick a side, man.
Are there any particular tokens that you're planning to enter when prices are low, or you're just still waiting in stables or not actively trading right now?
Well, you know me, my bot's on 24/7 now.
How did your bot react to this crash?
I have not lost money with my bot. Not one bit. Touch wood. So basically, right now we're currently sat at around I'm even up on the day. There's been some down days, but down is like really small. We're talking like 1 to 2% drawdown of the entire portfolio. And yeah, I've added a bunch of new rules in, but right now, I'm long PopCat, XRP, and Arbitrum, and I'm short ETH. No, I'm long ETH, long Bitcoin, short Bitcoin actually, and long Hype. And my Hype position is currently using. But yeah, it's going good. It's like from 46% up all the way down to minus 14% on Hype. But on the day, I'm in profit. But yeah, generally, it's just following Hype, and the Hype right now looks like there's specific tokens that are doing reasonably well.
That's really good. If it's able to make a profit in this environment, then yeah, it's definitely working. It'll be interesting to see how it performs when things really start moving. But what about you, Deji? What tokens are you looking at?
To be honest, bro, the number one token that you should be looking at that will tell you what needs to happen, whether you're gonna have a good month or a bad month with Bitcoin. So I'm locked in on Bitcoin right now. I'm not interested in Bitcoin at this level. If you're lucky, we get a correction to 84K. Cool. I'll enter spot. Because right now I'm not doing any leverage. This is crazy, fam. Because the market is too volatile. You have Binance washing trades, punishing longs and punishing shorts both ways, fam. So I'll be careful entering any kind of high level trades right now. But in terms of altcoins that I'm looking at, let me load up my list. Obviously looking at Asta, because I think that's a hot narrative. Also looking at Hype, I think that's a standard. But I'm seeing like Arweave is really, really dropped. That's ridiculous. Because I still think when altcoins comes, these tokens will do well. So I think it's good to keep an eye on them. Solana, obviously. Sui. Sui had a mad drawdown the liquidation event, all the way down to 55 cents. If anyone had spot orders there, it would have been sweet, but I did it because I never thought it would go that far. Right? I mean, that's literally pre-prompt prices right there, to kind of put that into context. But yeah, looking at that as well. And yeah, it's Injective as well. That's like, dude, Injective, TIA is $1, fam. Like, we did an episode last December about how that was the worst performing token given the start it had. And now, since then, it's dropped another 200%. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, I want to touch that before. Like, Rune is somewhat, like, dude, Rune is a DEX coin, right? I think that's something that should be picked up soon because they will have his bounce. Like, eventually have his bounce. So if you can catch that with your bot, that'd be nice, right? But as a few tokens, the Eigenlayer as well as $1.12. Like, nah, it seems a bit cheap, but lowest it went was 50 cents. So I'm looking at a few of those tokens. I'm surprised that Link held on pretty well. Only dropped to $8. But then it was quickly picked back up. But yeah, there's a few tokens I'm looking at, and that's just a few of them that I'm looking to enter once I'm confident at the spot price. But like I said before, there's still a bit more drawdown. I'm not saying we revisit these lows, but we'll probably get a bit closer, in my opinion. If not revisiting that low, but maybe close to it. So that's what I'm thinking. So especially just set some alarms, set some spot and buy orders because, and also I'm looking at Pendle. I've always been interested in Pendle throughout this entire bull run. Pendle and ENA, I'm looking at those two to add to the portfolio, to the altcoin portfolio. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, for myself, I think the tokens that I'm mainly looking at are Floki is one that I've been always keeping an eye on. Elon recently pumped it by saying it's what was his exact word? Something like it's the CEO of X or something to the effect. So that recently pumped. But yeah, Floki is one that I always like to keep an eye on. Bonk is, especially with their ecosystem, something to always check and see what developments are happening there. Pump, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Pump as a platform or as a company, it doesn't mean you can't make money off it. So that's something else to check. This isn't a token, but this is a product that I use, and there will probably be an airdrop at some point. Cast, K-A-S-T. It's basically a crypto spending card, and if you spend, you get, you'll be eligible for an airdrop. So yeah, that's another platform that is crypto in the real world. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.